All right, folks, I'm going to quickly go over how you draw the cam for 4.1.2b. This also encompasses 4.1.2a in case you didn't draw your cam or you deleted your cam or I don't know what. But I'm going to draw this very quickly, so at any point if you need to, please hit pause and that will help you. That will give you the time that you need to catch up to where I'm at. So first I'm going to check my document settings. Right now they're in millimeters. I want to change those to inches. Oop, not meters. Inches. Okay. Then I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to choose to draw this plane. And then I'm going to start looking at my drawing to see what I am creating. And you can find that on the direction sheet. Here's the drawing we're creating. You think that worked? I think you could see that. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to use the origin for the center point of the hole for my axle, and that has a diameter of 1/4 inch. And circles in Fusion 360 draw them with the diameter, so that's good. I can just draw that 0.25. Then I'm going to draw the big circle, which is a radius of 1.25. So I'm going to multiply that by 2, so I can either type 1.25 times 2, or I can just math it in my head and type 2.5. I am going to draw a straight line up from the center of my axle hole to the top of my big circle because that's going to be the center point for my the top of the arc, and you can see that that distance is what we want it to be, which is 0.125. So I can go grab my circle, and that has a radius of 0.4, so I can do 0.25 times 2 or 0.5. Cool. I'm going to drag these out of the way. I'm going to quickly draw the lines to create the edges of my cam. I don't care how big they are at this point. I'm just drawing them, and then I'll trim them up later. I'm going to use the tangent constraint, and I'm going to click the circle first, then the line, circle first, then the line. So you're going to have 4 tangent constraints on your cam. Now I can go grab my trim out of the modify panel and start trimming up the stuff that I don't need. Boop. And there we go. That's our cam. I can delete this line if I want to. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to extrude this 0.25. And now you can see our cam as correctly sketched. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the parametric modeling that 4.1.2b asks you to draw. So the first thing is you'll create a copy of this. So don't work off of the same one over in your data panel. Make sure you're in the IED in yours. Create a copy and save it in the pair cam copy folder. Last name, first name, pair copy for that, what that file should be named as. I'm not doing that because I'm not saving it in your file. And then I'm going to add new parameters. Make sure you go over and you read the instructions because you need to remember that a nominal diameter is a parameter that is used to describe the cam, but it doesn't necessarily talk about the measurement value of a diameter. It may, but it also, in this case, could talk about linear values or radial values as well. So I'm going to add a new parameter following the directions. I'm going to go to the direct, I'm going to go to modify, change parameters, and then I'm going to select the plus beside parameters. Yours will probably be saved as the name, but I'm going to go to the plus beside the parameters, and here's where I'm going to enter the information. I'm going to put nominal die. I'm going to enter the expression of 2.5, and then I'm going to note this as nominal diameter. Enter. Cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add another one. I'm going to call this axle die I'm going to note this is 0.25, and this will be the axle diameter. Awesome. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some parameters, model parameters down here. So if I hit this drop down menu, you'll see that I have sketch and extrude. Based off of the directions, you should have 4 here. You should have 2 radial, 1 linear, and 1 diameter dimension. So right now I only have 3. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go back into my sketch. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to delete these. And I'm going to redimension it just because I want to have those 4 dimensions they're talking about. So I want a radial dimension for the big arc and the little arc. So the little arc and the big arc. So there you go. You can see those. I want a diameter dimension for the circle. And then I want this linear dimension. So now I've got my 4. I can hit finish sketch, or I can literally go back into modify, change parameters. Right now I'm just going to hit finish sketch. Then I'm going to go modify, change parameters. Now you can see I've got those 4 pieces of information that I was missing. Your name for your dimensions may be different. On the instructions it'll say D1, D2, D3, D4. Doesn't really matter. You can change these. Just make sure when you're editing the expression that they match up to the correct part of the drawing. So just look at the directions, make sure yours match, and I'll come back once I have that set up. Alright, so I typed those in to match my instructions, which was step 7. I did skip a step, so I'm going to go back and go over that with you, but here you can see step 7, just making sure these match what I have over here, and they do. I can add in my notes. Sorry about that. I can add in the notes that they have. So for example, this is the large radius, small radius. This is the center to center line, and then this is the cam hole. So that's that simple. The thing that they changed is here for step 5, they renamed the parameter that represents the thickness. They just changed it to thick, or instead of saying D5, they just changed it to THK. And that is what they had. So if I hit OK, you're going to notice that your drawing has changed in shape, and that's how it should look now. Obviously, go back and rewatch this video if you missed any steps.